welcome back. Right, so today another job that I've been meaning to do for quite a while. Um, Never done it. So it's going to be a case of figuring it out, but as usual, there's plenty of information on the interwebs. And it's all about changing the gearbox oil today. Um, just so happens there was a forum post about this the other day on the Caterham forums, and talking about which oils to use and a few bits of information that's been quite handy. So I'm going to have a peek underneath. I've jacked the car up, as you can see, jacked it up quite high this time so I can get me underneath for a peek about, and let's have a look. So I know for a fact that the drain plug on the gearbox on this car is really easily accessible. It's just pointing straight down, a nice big socket. This is the 5-speed Mazda. So I just need to get in there and try and find the fill hole, judge access to it, and see how much of a hassle that's going to be to refill it. So I've checked, it needs 2 litres of oil. You'll not believe this, but they sell this oil in 950 milliliter bottles. I think it's 1 US quart, which is not that convenient. So I've had to buy 3 of them, which gets a bit more expensive, but it is what it is. So let's have a look under the car, see if we can locate this filler, and see if we can judge access to it and come up with some way of filling it, because I need to figure that out before I drain it. What I might do first though is set the heater up, put the heater underneath just to try and warm the casing a little bit. Hopefully then the oil will flow out a little bit easier. I think in a normal situation it's good to take it for a short run beforehand, like it is with running the engine, to empty the engine oil. But I'll get the heater under there first, pop my head under and see what we can find. Now then, I'd say I've probably filmed in easier positions than this, but anyway, here we are. So I'll just, you can see the massive drain hole plug there at the bottom of the gearbox. Okay, it's maybe best to show you on a diagram, but you can see there's 2 here. That looks like there's a secondary drain plug here, and then up there, the one you can see, it's more of a square thing. I'll put an arrow to it, but that's the filler, and just for bearings, that's where the drain plug is down here. So then this is the back of the car. What I've just noticed is there's actually a rubber grommet. You can just see that there, from the footwell to very close to that, where is it? That filler bit. So I'm just going to pop that rubber grommet off now and see how good the access is to that bolt head, because wouldn't that just be fantastic if we could fill from there. So let's have a look, get back in the footwell and have a look at that. So hopefully you can see this, but what you're looking at there is the end of the rubber mat, and then what we've discovered is I've got access to that rubber grommet. So let's see, pull that off. You can maybe see better than me, but I can see on the camera screen. Oh, fantastic. That looks like it's given us perfect access in to fill the gearbox oil. I say perfect. I'm not quite sure how a fairly hefty, fully grown man is going to get in there, but I definitely think it's easier than going in from the bottom, so fantastic. So we'll let this warm up a little bit. I'll just make sure I can crack open that filler, and once I've done that, I'll drain it out. The oil doesn't come till tomorrow, so I won't be able to complete the job till tomorrow, but yeah, this is turning out to be a little bit easier than I thought it would be. Maybe that was, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, let's see how we got on. I'll see if we can crack that nut and empty it out. Right, turns out access through that hole is okay, but the bolt is just a 4-sided one, so a normal socket was not keen to marry up to it. Anyway, plan B, lie underneath and got the bolt undone. Actually relatively easy. A 15mm spanner worked for me, and it wasn't very tight. So I'm going to pop you under here and see if you can have a look. I'm going to try and untie that bolt now from the inside. I wouldn't, because it's a filler, I wouldn't expect any oil to come out, but you never know. Let's see. That's yep, as predicted, nothing's coming out. Right, next job, the big one. That's there. Okay. Show you that over there. Hopefully you can see that. Put a bit of light on it. I believe that's 24mm. Okay. Ah, somebody's telling right. Okay. Oh, dear me. Okay. So, let's see if I can. Actually, got some paper roll just in case. Let's see if we can catch all this. Oh, there we go. Ironically, the oil looks pretty clean, but what do I know? I've never emptied a gearbox before. Quite rewarding though. Right then, so I think, okay, good. Tiny amount of crud on the magnet on the bottom of this. Not much, but I'm guessing with that much friction in there, there's always going to be a tiny amount of metal. Good, right. I think we'll just leave that now for, well actually I can just leave that now for a day. Might as well just let that dribble out and we'll come back when we've got the product. The oil's arrived, so time to start putting stuff back together. So here it is. After reading the forums, Redline MTL seemed to get a lot of big ticks. As I said earlier, 946 millilitres. That is a real pain in the neck. So that, if I only bought two, that would leave me about 100ml short, which, well, I'm not going to risk it. So, so next job, get the bung, put back in the bottom, and then think about how we're going to pump 2 litres of oil in that filler. Now, I do have a plan. Where did I put it? Ah, here it is. I bought this for another job. So I got this, it's a laser tool. It's pretty flimsy. Got it out of Halfords for something else, never used it. And basically the input comes from the long end, the output is from the stubby end, and we just pump this, and there we go. So I'll just feed this into the oil. That will fit through that hole that we showed you earlier in the footwell, and all being well, we'll just pump away until it dribbles out. And with a bit of luck, we'll get 2 litres in, and we'll be done and dusted in no time. So, right, let's get the bung put in the bottom before we do anything else. Okay. I shouldn't think that'll need tighten too much. Maybe there. I suspect this might take a while. Only halfway down the bike now, to be honest. Should have done this before we got in here. Well, it's dripping, which means it's full, and rather frustratingly, it's taken a fraction under 2 bottles. So even though it says, or I heard on a YouTube video that somebody's put on there that it takes 2 litres, looks like it takes just under 2 litres, or there was a bit of oil left somewhere. My car's pretty level. I'd say the back is down a tiny bit. Anyway, it's full. I've got a spare bottle, so I guess we'll keep that for next time round. I only have to buy one. It's dripping now, as you can see, so let me just get tidied up, put the top bolt in, and that'll be that. So that actually that wasn't as hard a job as I was expecting. I think access to the fill was probably the hardest bit, and it turned out not to be too bad. That laser tools pump was okay, it was clean, there was no drips and no dribbles, and I didn't spill a drop anywhere, but it was really slow. That must have taken about 40 minutes to get those 2 bottles in. Very slow for the pump to come back out. Probably could have rectified that a little bit if I'd pre-warmed the oil in the house. Make it a bit less viscous, but anyway, it's in. We've got fresh oil. That's another tick done for this season. So I'm just going to pop the top bolt in. The bottom one's clearly already in, so get tidied up, re-glue the carpet back on the side, and that'll be us for another job. So until next time, yeah, drive safe.